Perfect. We are live. Okay. This one should be. Just get this to load. Yep, that says it. So here we go. Alright. In this video, I am unboxing the manual for this clock. I got just randomly lucky when I noticed this clock, which is actually a descendant of this clock because they look like the same on the front, same style. Well, there's slight differences, but it's so similar, you know, that they were copying their original design and just making it digital. And so I'm going to unbox the instructions for it because I randomly noticed that those were on eBay along with several of the clocks. And even more interesting, I didn't notice this until after I looked at tracking information. It came from Salt Lake.
Can you move the camera so you're actually in it?
Well, I have to scoot because if I move it, then we won't be seeing the table. So I thought that was interesting. I don't think they were offering local pickup. If they were, I didn't notice because usually nobody's ever selling anything in my area that's on eBay. Also, from last time, I didn't notice the bottom actually has operating instructions, which is nice. So I really appreciate that. Basic instructions, but let's see what the manual has. I'm curious if it has anything on why it says view alarm on the front. That doesn't make sense to me. View alarm. Like, yeah, you can easily view what time you have your digital alarm set for. Ooh, that's nice. They wrapped it in some piece of cardboard. So I'm going to give them a good review on packing. I was kind of expecting the manual just to be inside of the bubble mailer, but thank you. You recognize. And this is actually a good idea because I've got an old book of like Sony camera accessories from one of my cameras, and I was gonna throw it away, but then I'm like, no, I'll list this on eBay because think about how cool all the books I have from Odyssey 2, talking about the different games you could buy. Think about how cool they are. Someone might find this cool someday. I don't need it. I'm not gonna keep it, but I'll list it on eBay. So. Very nice packing. Ooh, it's a little thing.
Wow.
So, I don't know what that says. Someone's written something on the back.
It's an ad. 615 South 2nd East. Apple, Sun, GR.
I don't know. There's that. Either way, I doubt it. It's not their current address, obviously. I don't know what that would be for. Interesting that that's on there. General Electric Company, Housewares and Audio Business Division, Boston Avenue, Bridgeport, Connecticut. So I don't know why they have the extra address on there. Maybe they wrote down the address of a service center back in the day.
Could be.
But this is for the General Electric Digital Alarm Clock Use and Care Book. Weird, it says use instead of use. Wait, I guess they're spelled the same, USE.
Yeah, it's
okay.
use.
So it is use and care. Model 8143-5. It actually has a few more pages than I was thinking it did. Based on the photo, they just showed like the front and maybe the back. Which I think is smart to do because you're trying to sell a thing. You don't want people just go, oh, there's the manual. But I am actually planning to try and like scan this in and put it online. Because history, I don't know when I'll get around to that. But, from General Electric, 120 volts, 3 watts, AC only, 60 CPS, cycles per second. Listed by Underwriters Laboratories Incorporated. Oh, UL, that's right. I forget what testing they do, but there's some kind of testing that has to happen in the U.S.
That's quality control.
Make sure that you don't plug it in and blow up or die. We have a little tiny bit of this edge of the page where it's like torn is coming off. Oh, it's a fold-out map style. That maybe explains why it might have looked so. Let's just quickly see. Whoops. Where's? Aha. So, important safeguards when using any electrical appliance. Basic safety precautions should always be followed, including the following for your electric digital alarm clock. read all instructions before using the clock. I can't imagine anybody who. Some people do that, but not enough people. Not very many people. Do not operate the clock with a damaged cord or plug after it malfunctions or has been dropped or damaged in any manner. To do so may result in a fire or shock hazard. Return the clock to the nearest authorized service facility for examination, electrical or mechanical adjustment or repair. Position clock at least 1 inch away from wall to prevent cord damage, which may result in fire or shock hazard. So yes, don't smush your cord. Do not place furniture on cord or against plug at wall outlet, as doing so may cause damage to cord or plug, resulting in a possible fire or shock hazard. True. Common sense. But you know it's in here because some people are really stupid and they did something dumb, and so then they wrote it in the instructions. Do not use clock outdoors, as exposure to rain or water may cause electrical shorts, resulting in possible fire or shock hazards. Do not operate clock in the presence of explosive and or flammable fumes, as doing so may result in an explosion hazard. Use the clock only for its intended use as described in this use care booklet. Save these instructions. Last one I find interesting because I don't know how this exactly would cause a fire unless something sparks near gas, but I don't think it's going to get hot enough to do that. But nonetheless, safety thing. So the digital alarm clock from General Electric uses electronic technology. It senses and processes power line electrical cycles. The correct time is displayed as long as electrical power is supplied. True. And there is no backup battery. Most clocks have a little spot for a 9-volt battery. So if the power goes out, the clock won't show time, but it will keep track of it until the power comes back on again. I've had one, though, that did...
Wait a second, you said there is no backup battery?
Yeah.
How does it keep track of time when the power's off?
It doesn't.
Oh, you're talking about the ones that have it, but this one does not. So
yeah.
when it turns back on, it's back to
the ones
12.
that have it, yeah, this one's
Okay,
just back to 12.
12. Okay.
Mm-hmm. The ones that have it do that. I've had one, though, that like had the radio still work with that. I don't think it's supposed to, because as far as I'm understanding, they go into a low power state just to keep the time running. But I can see maybe like it would be useful if they also let the alarm still ring. They just kept the display off. Because keep in mind, like everyone says on our phones, that the display is the most power draining thing out there. You don't need people saying blaring music on your speaker drains your battery, all this stuff. So you could potentially have, especially just a simple piezo beeper speaker like these things have, keep that running, and then that way you still wake up in the morning if the power's out. So to set time of day, plug cord into electrical outlet. That's 1, 2. Hold clock so display is facing you, A, in this position. Press fast set button to bring time to a few minutes before desired time release. Then press slow set button to set clock to exact minute. There's the view alarm dot is number 2. So what is the view alarm dot? Let's keep reading, because that's what I really want to know. Be sure that the time is in the correct AM or PM period. Number 3. Note 1. In the AM period, the time display dot is glowing. In the PM period, dot is off. Huh. Interesting they call it time display dot. It says number 1 on here, but it doesn't label what it is. Weird. But it does say AM on the clock, so that's pretty obvious. When you got a dot next to your AM thing up top, it's going to say AM. This is a really simple clock that you don't completely need the instructions for, but it is nice to have. You know, make sure of things. Alarm time. The time of day button and alarm time button are used together to set alarm time. To display or check the time the alarm is set to sound, press in only the alarm time button. To prevent confusion, the alarm time button is set apart from the other buttons, which it is, and I appreciate that. They have a little divider here, so you just push these and you're setting time, or these over here. So this is fast, this is slow, and this is your alarm time, and then you use these two to set it. That's nice. Also, the fact that these are on the back of the clock, underneath where you're less likely to bump them, makes it totally okay that there's no time set button. Some clocks have the buttons try to just be flush with the clock, but even then, I've tested and I can still bump them with the palm of my hand. So most clocks where the buttons are anywhere else near the front or whatever, they need to have a time set button and an alarm set button. Don't just have the minute and hour buttons change the time automatically. I think that is a rule that should be followed. So we got snooze button, all the stuff. So you press and hold the alarm time button. That's going to be, yep, B3. Okay, this one is labeled correctly. But then, where the heck is A1? Yeah, I am not seeing anything so far that tells me what number 1 is on diagram A. I'll let Mom look at it and then we'll skim the rest of it. This is weird. And also, like number 2, which is the view alarm dot, it has both of those listed. Alright, so, well, she looks, I'm going to look over and... I mean, maybe it is, so maybe it is just this, because here it says note 1, colon, which is weird, because everywhere else they have the diagram letter and then the number. Like, as I was just reading down here, they've got B, comma 3, which means B3 on this diagram.
Yeah, where's note 2 or
Mm-hmm.
the thing for this one here, view alarm
Dot.
dot.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna skim the rest and see if it says anything. If it doesn't, then it's gonna be a mystery unless maybe someone happens to be like, hey, I have the box for this alarm clock. If they did, I would totally snatch it up, but I doubt anybody does. That's you can find some old clocks that are in the box. Like I have a clock in a box that I need to redo because I lost the old video on. But because yeah, right here says B3 and B1, and it's labeled here on the diagram, but on the front one it's not. So yeah, so while holding the alarm time button and use the fast set button B1 and slow set button B2 buttons to set the alarm to sound at the time desired. Be sure to display the time in the displayed time is in the desired AM or PM period. Refer to note 1. Thank you. Released fast set and slow set buttons before releasing the alarm time button to prevent changing the time of day setting. Thank you for saying that. That is, that's smart. But again, it's on the back. It's very simple, easy to use. So I'm not going to fault them for not having a time set button. Then 6, reload. Read the alarm set time when you wish by pressing the alarm time button B3. When you do this, be careful not to accidentally press either the fast set or slow set buttons. These buttons are separated on the case to avoid confusion. Thank you again.
Where are the fast set and slow set? Are they in the back still?
Yeah, they're there.
Okay.
But there's the divider.
Okay,
Like we
so
showed earlier.
fast and slow is the time, and just the divider has
Yep.
the
Alarm time. Yep. To use the alarm. After setting the time of day and alarm time, simply slide the alarm on-off switch, which is B4, to on before going to sleep or when you want the alarm to sound within the next 24 hours. The view alarm dot the view alarm dot, which is A2, will glow, reminding you the alarm. Oh, okay, so that means whether the alarm is turned on or off. I did not notice that. That answers our question. So that's, yeah, there we go. So it's on. There's my alarm off. There it's on. Now so Mom can see it's on right now. Now it's off. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Then a 24-hour alarm feature is included. Your clock will alarm at the same time each day. Which, you might not think that's revolutionary, but it actually was a relatively new feature because digital clocks at this time, I don't know how long they'd been doing digital before this clock. I don't know exactly when it came out yet. But I think it was relatively new because a lot of the old analog clocks don't have 24-hour time, so you're going to ring at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., which is why you turn your alarm off in the morning and you leave it off until you go to bed, and cross your fingers you remember to turn it back on again. Whereas now, you just set the time And it's going to ring at that time every morning. You don't have to turn it on or off. Yep. Slide the alarm on-off switch to the off when alarm has sounded and back to on again. The alarm will remain off until it automatically sounds again at the same time the next day, which is another good thing because the analog clocks, turn it off, you have to turn it back on again, but also just the way the gearing mechanism works, they're going to ring for about an hour or so after the alarm time has started. I want to learn more about that mechanism and why it is that way. I know it's something to do with the gears, but they did it that way, and it just wasn't. This is much better. I'm sure a lot of people really, really liked these advancements. So the alarm will remain off until it automatically sounds again at the same time the next day. To snooze alarm, and they have copyright on that. Wow.
On snooze?
Yep. I don't know how they have.
On snooze alarm.
Yeah, snooze alarm. I don't know.
It's on alarm.
I don't know how you have copyright on that. That's weird. After the alarm sound, you can set it to repeat 9 minutes later by depressing the snooze alarm button, B5, on top of the case. This feature can be repeated 5 times. When you do not want the alarm to repeat, slide the alarm on-off switch to the off position. Then it's got brightness control. The high-low switch B6 adjusts the brightness of the display to your preference. To read seconds, by holding the snooze alarm button B5 down, the last 2 did. Oh! Wow!
What is that?
So look at this. Okay, here. Turn you guys so you can see it. So look, right now it's saying it's 12. Let's get it to stop blink for a second. So let's just push one of those buttons. So right now it's 12:59, but we hold this down, and we can see it's 9 minutes and 48 seconds. 49. That is cool. I would not have.
Before the alarm comes
Before time. It's just time. It's counting the seconds down. So you can see how many seconds till the next minute. And now it's 1 o'clock.
Oh, until the next hour. How long until the next hour?
Or a minute.
Well.
Yeah, because see, it's 1 o'clock, so it's the 1 o'clock hour with 0 minutes and 13 seconds.
Okay, so this is.
And then when that timer count finishes, it will be 1:01.
Okay.
That is so cool. I had no idea. I'm so glad I got the manual. That would have taken a fluke to discover. Wow. Oh my goodness. This clock is cool. So, okay, what else? So,
So I guess I thought I had like 9 minutes and some seconds. I couldn't see that it was a 0, but I see now it's 0.
Yeah.
And so 8, 9, 0.
You're at 1, and so now it's 1:01. Yep.
That's really neat.
That is really neat. So then to set clock to the exact second, accurate time references are broadcasted by many local radio stations and also by the National Bureau of Standards, which are received by most shortwave radios at 10 MC. Set as follows. 1. Set time on the minute before the correct time, or 1 minute before the correct time using the fast set and slow set buttons as described previously. When your time reference indicates the exact minute, press the slow set button and immediately release. This will advance the time 1 more minute and start the seconds counting from 0. That is nice. I don't know how different digital alarm clocks do that yet. I think some of them work off of when you plug it in based on empirical testing. I'm not actually positive about that, but I don't know. But doing it this way I think is the nicest and easiest because you just plug it in and then you just push the button at the right moment. It's a lot easier than now. Oh, I got stuck in the plug and didn't go in right. And
yeah, I remember times where we tried to reset all the clocks to the exact second. We had to do it over and over and over.
Yeah,
again.
no, it's.
This is nice.
There's a reason that I don't have all my clocks running all at once. This is one of them, and also clock museums don't have them running all the time either. But also, clocks can be weird. Like, I remember once I had 2 digital alarm clocks. The last couple of clocks I had actively running for a while. They were on opposite sides of the room, and then one day, they just went forward a minute. Wasn't even daylight savings time. Both of them at the same time.
Forward an hour?
A minute.
A minute.
Yeah, they just went 1 minute forward.
And it wasn't time to change.
No, it
the
wasn't.
minutes.
Yeah, like as an example, let's just say that it was like 3:03 on my phone, and then suddenly they said 3:04, and my phone still said 3:03 for another minute or so.
Well, so when it comes to be, your phone says 3:04, are they going to change to 3:05 a minute early?
Yes.
So they're 1 minute ahead.
Yes.
But they used to be exact on.
Yeah. Yeah, they used to be within a few seconds.
Oh, wow.
If you have a power failure, power interruptions will cause a time error. When this happens, the time display will blink and display the incorrect time, reset the time of day, and alarm time. So this is good. And then, eventually somebody figured if we just put battery inside of here, then it can, not go out. Which, we had a few power outages, like, I don't know, a couple of Sundays ago or whatever, and I'm thinking, it'd be nice if our stove had that feature.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we're looking at our stove for the time very often, but I mean, yeah, it would be nice if it had that. So, this is definitely a really cool book that taught me something new about my alarm clock, and so I am going to be.
I wonder if your other alarm clocks by this company do the same thing.
I don't have any other alarm clocks by. Well, no.
Well, just the one that was the forerunner to this.
It won't, because it's not digital. It does have seconds, though. The seconds are over here. They're that green dial rotating around constantly.
Alright.
And then, so, yeah, no. But actually, take that back. I do have one other GE clock. It's over in that corner. It's a... And that one, I don't think it has a way to display... Yeah, I don't think it has a way to display seconds, but it is that white one over there on the bottom shelf. So, yeah, anyways, that's it for this very cool video. This will be online at some point, thanks to me. And I'm going to be putting this in a baggie to keep it nice and protected. And I don't know if maybe I'll put a little bit of tape on that part of the page. We'll have to see. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like. Don't forget to get subscribed if you're interested in more clock stuff. That's something I'm going to slowly but surely do a little more on, and I will see you guys in whatever's next. Bye!